I thought we'd carry on with the Telemann E minor sonata. We've done the first two movements already, so we're on to the recitative and arioso. Short, but plenty of things to think about in here. I thought we'd start with the arioso first and then add the recit onto the beginning afterwards. Biggest risk in this, I think, is that we see something tuneful and beautiful and we play it very, 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 very slowly. Knowing that that is a risk, let's not do it. It's a beautiful melody, but it's got places to go, so let's not hang about. We're going to start it on a back bow, we're going to start it in first position. Let's see what happens. So right at the beginning then, I think the melody is here, and that's a weak note. This is the answer. Then I think you need to retake your bow and shift. And now we've got decisions. We need to be down. Are we going to come down there? Possibility. I crossed over, and then I added a trill here and used it as a convenient moment to shift. So I stayed. Four finger trill, not everybody's favourite, but dead useful for getting yourself down from up there. Just going on a second. I've added another trill, that's in bar 10. It's just, you get to the point where you can't hear a cadence without a trill. It just feels like somebody going out with only one sock on. You have to finish it properly. So a cadence with no trill is just kind of not complete. Just a little one in bar 10. Let's play from the beginning. 3, 4, 1. Gonna go on. New phrase, new beginning. Take your time. I've added that trill as well, I just can't quite resist. Should we stop there a second? Nice cadence onto bar 15. You might have noticed I tucked the final semiquaver of 14 into the same direction as the dotted quaver. I've done it because I think here it helps with the bowing and it's just fairly imperceptible, so that's at the cadence at the end of 14. Let's just look from 10. I think you've got time to just handle this, not completely metrically. I think there's time to finish that phrase and then start this one. Once you've started it though, get on with it. I think that's the sort of place where if we're not careful, if we take a little bit of time and then we set off at a slower speed. So I think once you've started this, just keep going. Should we have a bit more here because it's the same phrase but higher in pitch? And a little tuck in there. It fits really very nicely, all of this. There's quite a lot of thinking about which bit of the bow you might like to be in. Crotchets are quite long and they deserve a certain amount of care and a certain amount of shape. So you've used a certain amount of bow. Are you going to carry on maybe not. But do you need to be right back at the tip and do a massive retake really energetically in that rest? Again, I don't think so. So just measure where you need to be after this rest. I reckon you could stay where you are here. And probably again here. You're going to do a back bow, but I don't think there needs to be a lot of retaking in the rests. Should we play together from, let's go from 10, from where the new phrase starts. So we're in after 3. 1, 2, 3. Dramatic, that last bit, isn't it? From 15. This. You are absolutely going to keep your second finger on the G at the bottom to get that fabulous interval. And just don't rush it. I think there's time to spell that out. And then this should go there, shouldn't it? It should finish, but it doesn't. So again, make something of it. Don't just let it happen. As though that kind of thing occurs every day. It's completely outrageous. Should do that. Got to make something of it. Proper cadence coming up. I've added a few little tiny ornaments. I've added that as though we're going to cadence properly. That's in 16, just before the interrupted cadence. Shall we play together from 15? Let's go before 14 actually. The 3 upbeats into 14, just to kind of knit between the 2 phrases. End of 14. 3 and 4. So that's our aria, that's what our song is about. I don't think it's anything hugely dramatic. It's got things to say, but it's not anything terribly angst laden. It starts out really quite positive. So the recit that introduces it has to, in some way, relate to what we're about to sing about in the aria. So what you can't do is go at a wildly different speed. But I wonder whether it needs to be completely metric. I think it would really help if we had an idea about what our words might be in the recit. I think that's always useful. And I think it's always an idea to think about, is it something that's going on? Or is it something that's sitting back and maybe commenting on what you've just said? So with all of that in mind, that is really quite a dramatic chord. So let's not pass it by without any body or any substance. You've got to put the appoggiatura in there, I think. And then that's an interesting chord as well. well, so again, don't let it just pass you by. It's an interesting place to have got to. Perhaps that is less so. So you start with something really important to say. But then a perhaps slightly reflective comment on it. And now here's the next thing that happened in my story. And here's the next. They've got slightly different shape, those, haven't they? I'm going to tell you something else. It's a kind of announcing what I'm going to say. And this may be slightly less dramatic. And I wasn't sure if it was a good thing. It's got a bit of a frown in there. And so this is what I did. And I'm going to sing you a song about it. And it goes like this. So you need to have a narrative story behind your recit. There are things that need to go places, things that need to move on. But then repeated pitches, you could make less of those, couldn't you? But things with more dramatic intervals. Imagine a singer, imagine them telling the story, imagine where they're going to look at you for a response, imagine where they're just going to just withdraw a little bit, and then they're going to introduce their aria. And you have to finish that in anticipation of that. Does that make sense? Shall we give it a go? Through the recit then, let's just see what happens. And 1. And now we're ready for the aria that tells our story. So it's quite hard to provide you a continuo part for this because the recit is not completely metrical. The arioso may be more, so I'm going to play you both parts together and invite you to play along rather than leave you to it. Here we go.